Spears and Steinberg.
You know what the fuck it is?
Aries and Andy, Jew and the Jerk.
You know it's time to get this work.
The real raw, gutter, uncut cocaine. No political corrections.
Always sleep.
Fuck being awoke. We discuss politics and jokes.
Scribe, we lit.
There's levels to this shit. Before you was sucking on your mama's tit.
Aries Spears don't give a fuck.
We talk about race a lot, racism,
Sexism.
Much love to my loyal bitch bag holders.
Rollers, clip loaders.
We got them in the folders.
The whole world on our shoulders.
Spears and Steinberg.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be sad when we leave Irvine, man. This has been great.
Yeah.
This weekend has been fucking fantastic.
This is the second best time I had here.
I think the attendance for me was a little bit better than last time.
Yeah. I think it was. Yeah, those especially Saturday shows were fucking ridiculous. But Friday shows were really good too. And Thursday was great.
Yeah. I almost had a Will Smith, Chris Rock moment that never made sense because I'm bigger than Chris Rock and that nigga was smaller than Will Smith. Whatever that drunk motherfucker was.
Some people have things they have to get off their chest.
Yeah. So listen, man, I just so you guys know what we're going to talk about today, the meat and potatoes. Great documentary on HBO.
Great.
About, you're asking great or you saying
great? I want to hear you say great. Like
I mean, you know.
Endorse the great.
Well, okay. It was interesting because I knew of Rock Hudson in the sense of.
I'm going to go with interesting, and I'll tell you why as we go through. I'm going to go, and I'll tell you why I feel that way as we go through this.
Okay, it's a documentary on HBO about film icon legend who passed away tragically from AIDS, Rock Hudson.
Yeah, and it was called I got it, Rock Hudson, All That Heaven Allowed.
Yes. So that will be the meat and potatoes. Jesus, come on now. But instead, and before we get into that, a couple little playful appetizers. I don't know why, but I was sitting around. Oh, you know what it was? I was in my house and a Jack Nicholson movie was on. And I know you're going to know this because this is your era, 70s. 5 Easy Pieces. You know that one?
No.
You don't know that one?
No, I don't.
I would have swore you to knew that. Anyway.
What's it about, though? Maybe I
didn't even get that into it. My thing was I came up with a porno name and title. Okay. So the movie is called 5 Easy Pieces by Jack Nicholson. Mine is called 5 Easy Bitches starring Jack Dickham,
The name of the actor is better than
yeah. But they 5 Easy Bitches.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Jack Dickham. Yeah, I got to pat myself on the back on that one.
Jack Dickham. I like that.
Jack Dickham.
You got a better. You could do better than 5 Easy Bitches, though.
I mean, what's easier than that? Oh, you said better or easy?
Better. Like
you can always do better.
Better, yeah.
But that's easy.
That's too easy for you. You have too much creativity to. Because what I'm saying is, the guy on the street can have that name.
No, we've read some of the guy on the street's names.
Some of the guys on the street could have that 5 Easy Bitches.
Maybe.
But you could do 5. I don't know. But I know you have more in you. But the Jack Dickham, that's fucking genius.
Well, I mean, pieces. I now that you're talking to me, I'm going pussy.
Yeah.
But then five something pussies. Something's got to be, the number works, and pussies obviously works because it's porn. But something in the middle got to bring those two together.
Yeah, but you have more creative words like snatches.
5 juicy pussies.
Yeah, something like that.
Something like that, starring Jack Dickham.
Yeah, I'm sorry I'm not giving you everything you want on this.
No.
But the name is so good.
I will never hate on the chance to do better.
But the name is so good, Jack
Dickham.
Yeah, so that you gotta.
I saved it.
Yeah. No, I'm just saying that it deserves a better name because the guy's name is so good.
Right. Little bit of basketball. you know, we don't want to scare him away.
There's
Brandon Coxsacka.
There was the ambulance coming to get him from his.
Did you like that?
Yeah.
When it finally was put in?
Yeah.
Jesus, my throat is scratchy. Here's one for you, and you tell me what you agree. And we kind of mentioned this. A little bit of controversy in the world of basketball, a la my man Shaq. Shaq was upset because Jeannie Buss listed her top 5 Lakers, and here they are. Kobe, understandable. Magic, of course. Kareem, how could you not? This is where it gets crazy. Phil Jackson and LeBron. Now, why Jeannie would insert her personal piece of dick in this, I don't know. Does the coach belong in the top 5 if you're going to exclude Shaq, Wilt, Jerry West?
She wasn't around for Wilt's.
But you don't have to be.
I know, but you know what? There's you are affected by those that you've seen play. And she wasn't around for Wilt.
I hear you, but I think when it comes to sports,
I get what you're saying.
You don't put too much on that. Because if you know what you're dealing with in the sports world, you can't ignore the great.
But I'm going to say something that some people will get upset with right now, and I'll say it anyway. But you're judging what you just said about sports based on a woman's.
That's why I don't like the fact that she inserted her relationship in that. Now, granted, she's not with Phil. We all know that Jeannie's with Jay now, but you putting your past dick in the top 5?
But you have a different connection. We connect in a physical way. They connect in an emotional way.
Yeah, you're right.
She didn't see him play.
There it is.
She didn't see him play the game, so that may be different for her. I'm not saying all women, by the way, and please don't write in about this shit because I'm stating science. I'm not saying every single woman.
Right.
But we as men and women connect with things in a different way. And so, yeah, I could see her putting Phil in. Phil got a ring.
That was a vaginal choice.
But he got a ring. He was part of the team.
He got several rings.
But with the Lakers. So he was part of the team. So I could understand and then you have the connection. So then, yeah, you put him in. But she was there. And but I think it goes deeper than this. This must be, and I know that Shaq was upset about it, but this shows more about what happened in the contract dispute a little bit of what Shaq wanted. And it must have resonated a little deeper than Shaq saw that went through Jerry and then Jeannie being there. There must have been more in the background than Shaq would realize.
You think she would let a personal... Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I do.
Well, that's woman shit too.
No, but if you felt you had to trade someone that you wanted to keep,
right,
and it's because of the way that your dad felt about it, and how he had to go. And, that left the Lakers a little torn apart for a few seasons.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I could see her holding on to a little bit of a grudge and not putting him in the top 5 for that. But how do you not put in Shaq for what he did do for the team? That's what I'm saying. No, so I agree with you. I'm just saying I understand. I get, but I'm saying, can we look past what her names are and then look at maybe what some of the other issues that might have come up.
I think the bigger insult, because I'll even say what you just piggyback what you just said, being the female connection. All right, you want to get vaginal, you want to put your emotions in there and put your ex-boo-boo in there. All right, how the fuck you put LeBron over Shaq? And if for nothing else, based on what you just said, what he did for the team, he brought 3 rings to the Lakers, and the name Shaq also put asses in the seats.
Now you're being emotional.
How?
Because LeBron's there right now. It's about winning today. And you're not going to not put someone who's there right now who could possibly get you another ring over someone who's not there anymore.
Boo! I know the fans will side with me on this one.
It's not about the fans. I don't care about the fans. I don't even care.
No. I'm talking about what you just said. Fuck a right now. Again, I hear what you mean about what you see, being the prisoner of the moment. But when you talk all-time greats, you include everything. Otherwise, what's the debate?
The debate is she is in the front office. It's dependent on the Lakers aren't doing well. And the last thing you would do in sports is to say that would be the biggest snub in the world to leave LeBron off when you're still trying to win a championship and you build a team around him. That would fuck you.
So you think she's playing politics?
Yeah, of course you're playing politics. You have to. You're an owner.
I don't think you have to do that.
Dude, do you know what Los Angeles would do to her if she didn't leave LeBron on and all the LeBronians and all the people that want him on there?
You ready?
Yeah.
I mentioned this on Instagram, and even the hardcore Laker Nationers went, nah. And when I was asking about does LeBron deserve a statue, It was like, nah, he's not really. A lot of them don't even consider him an authentic Laker.
No,
not with one championship from a bubble.
I get that. And it's not even about the bubble. It's about how he came to the team after this was his third. This was just, his third team that he won a championship for. Honestly, the only place LeBron's going to get a statue, and I don't care how many people. Yeah, Cleveland. And that's where it should be.
Some people said Miami too.
No, fuck Miami. It's not going to happen there. It's not going to happen there because Miami's a Miami, and LeBron isn't Miami. He won championships in Miami, but you don't go LeBron Miami.
Well, if Pat Riley has a say, because remember, Pat Riley retired Jordan's jersey in Miami too.
He did?
Yeah, he did. He retired Jordan's jersey in Miami. So, and LeBron played for Miami.
Yeah,
Jordan
but it's not a statue. It's not a statue. His statue belongs in Cleveland.
I agree with you.
He's a hometown kid, comes out, makes good, takes the city that is the most depressing, heavy city that I've ever felt in my whole life. I feel like when you go to Cleveland in the middle of the summer, when you get off the plane, they put a 200-pound jacket on you and make you walk around the city. The city is heavy, and he lightened the load of that city a little bit. So yeah, that's where his statue is.
Even though he won 2 with Miami and only 1 with Cleveland.
He won in Cleveland, though. He came back home to win that championship for Cleveland. It's, he left. There was issues with the ownership. He left. He won his championships, and he came home, and he said, okay, let's do this. And he did it. And so that, I think that also is more endearing to the city because he could have gone anywhere. And he went back to Cleveland. He put aside his issues that he had with ownership. They got past all that, and he won a championship for them. That's a great story. If that's where LeBron's story was to have ended, LeBron still would have been it's a successful story. He went to L.A.
Would you put LeBron over Shaq?
No.
Okay.
No. No, but I wouldn't leave LeBron off the list either if I was making this list.
All right, so in the top 5.
You take Phil off because Phil isn't a player on the team.
Right.
That's the easiest way to make this go.
Right.
The only team that he played for was Jeannie Buss. That's the team that she put him on there for. And you know what? Frankly, I don't want to talk shit about Jeannie, but Jeannie has had a life reminiscent to her dad. She did what she wanted to do in life. She's had a great life. So, that says a lot about Phil because Phil must have been very deserving to get on that list because she has a lot of knowledge of other people.
He was dick serving.
And so he must have done a great job.
He was very dick serving.
He went in with his
to get on that list.
Phil philosophy.
Right.
He just doesn't fuck. Phil goes in and goes, let me break you down. Let me see what you need. Let me see how I'm sure they had a tribal, First Nation, Native American tribal event before they went in. This was where they went to the spirits of the animal. They named each other. They put on war paint and they went to fuck. That's how that happened. And that's why he's on that list.
Here's a quiz. What does Jeannie call Phil Jackson's dick and balls?
No, I can't wait to hear it. Go ahead.
The triangle.
But in that triangle, there's still 2 wings. So does that mean other people are running in, helping out?
Hey man, you passed me on that one. Okay. Before we get to the meat and potatoes, dude, I was also that day watching the Jack Nicholson thing. I'm just channel surfing. The movie, I Now Pronounce You Chuck and Larry is on. No. Do you agree or disagree? But I think I already know your answer. No fucking way that movie gets made today.
It can get made, just not the same way.
Well, then it ain't the movie.
Yeah, it's a watered down version of that movie.
Dude, I hadn't seen that movie but once when it first came out. That shit, dude. Here's the moments that really fucked me up. Remember, there's a moment where in the movie, Kevin James' son, it's kind of effeminate, right? They don't flat out say he's gay, but come on, that's the joke. And at one point, Steve Buscemi, who plays this agent that they have to be aware of and be on the lookout for, because he's known, and the girl, I forget what the girl's name is, it plays the love interest, but God, was she hot. But anyway, she warns them, you got to be on the lookout for Steve Buscemi, because this motherfucker is like the fucking, the gay agent on steroids. He's going to make sure that they not doing anything fraudulent, and if they are, he's on their ass. So he's looking through their garbage, and he's picking out a few things because they don't seem to be the things that you would find in a gay person's home.
Oh, it's Jessica Biel, by the way.
Oh, Jessica.
And she is unbelievable in that.
Oh, God.
That's when she's at her ultimate Biel.
Oh, goodness. So after Kevin James has this interaction with Buscemi, he frantically runs into the house and says to Adam Sandler, the agent we were supposed to be on the lookout for is looking through our garbage. And Adam goes, quick, we need to make this place more gay. So there's one point where Adam picks up like what looks like 2 grapefruits and a cucumber, and he holds them so it looks like a cock, and he throws it in the thing. He takes a nudie magazine that Kevin James had, throws that in the garbage, and then comes the effeminate son who does a little tap dance routine. And then Adam Sandler picks up the garbage, looks at the kid and goes, should we throw him in there too? No, that joke, the movie itself, I don't think could be done today. That joke would have got the gay community up in arms to somehow suggest that because a child could be gay, you throw him in the trash.
Of course, that would be a problem. Not to mention that,
and it was funny as fuck.
But the other part of it would be that you're using, you're backdooring what the law of two men to be together are. That straight guys will use that to get what they want out of this. So, and that would be against the. But here's how the movie works today. If they do it, take Cruising. Remember the Al Pacino movie, where he goes undercover, and then he kind of comes out at the end. You kind of they give you the feeling that he switched sides. He's gay.
Okay.
So Chuck and Larry go into it as just to get the what were they trying to get at? I forgot what
some type of health benefit.
Yeah, so they get to get the health benefits, and then in the end they just go, nah, we're not going back. This is good.
And they stay
like in a gay marriage, man and man. That's the way they would make it today. And then everything would be around that being fine.
Yeah, but for what Adam Sandler was known for, especially at that time, in your face, balls to the wall comedy, I just like it would be so watered down. It would be like, this don't feel like what it's supposed to be.
Here's the question though, because the joke that you say is really funny. And in the movie and in the context of everything, it's funny. But you know that Adam Sandler is going, do we put this in there too? And it's a joke. It's a joke to them.
Right.
They were laughing about it.
He even said, should we throw him in there too? Just kidding.
So it's a joke.
Right.
Can you even play that as a joke today?
No.
But as an obvious joke.
No.
Okay.
I think if you know how sometimes they would show those to sell the movie, they'll show an actual footage of an audience watching the movie, like a scary movie. And in the part that's supposed to be real scary, you see the audience in the dark in the movie. Everybody jumps. If they were to show that scene and you could see the audience reacting to that moment, and there were gay people in that theater, I could just know this would be the reaction. That look at each other like, ugh.
Yeah,
I just know that because, man, we know it's a joke, but to that community, trash, you're trash, and it's a child who's trying to come into his own.
Yeah, well.
And then you had Rob Schneider doing Asian face. Remember we played the Asian priest that marries them?
Is he doing Asian face?
Yes! He's tucking with the stereotypical
How
Asian.
do we know that he doesn't have some Asian in his lineage?
Rob Schneider?
Yeah.
Nah, man. Listen, when you see this, what he's doing, this is straight, blatant Asian face. They even taped his eyes to look Asian.
No, they didn't.
Yes, you don't remember?
No, I don't. I haven't seen this movie in.
Dude, he is straight.
It came out in 2007. You know when I saw it? 2007.
Yeah, that's the last time I saw it until now. But he tucked like when I go to Patanas, he's tucking like that, and he's got his eyes taped.
We talk about this sometimes, and and I talk about it a different way than you talk about it. I think it's the greatest thing in the world that Adam Sandler will wedge in some of his people to be into a movie.
Yes.
And he wedged him in, taped him up, and sent him out
to alter his voice.
To put him into this movie.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I'm not behind if he really had to tape his eyes to do all that, but it's funny.
This movie is an hour and a half of straight politically incorrect humor.
There's Rob. No, I don't see Rob Schneider. They don't even have him listed on here.
Yeah, he's a priest.
Maybe that's why they took him out of it, because they don't want it. He doesn't want the listing of it.
And then of course there's the scene with Ving Rhames, who during the introduction, his big intro when he meets Adam Sandler, he approaches Adam with that baby boy energy. And Adam thinks the guy's coming to confront him to physically fight him, but he's not. And at one point, Ving Rhames says to him, "Unclench your fist," and then goes in and they hug. And he says to Adam about, "Thank you because you and Larry came out, or you and Chuck, whatever, which one is which. Now it's allowed me to come out and I don't have to hide and be a secret. Thank you." And he starts, tearing up, and then he finishes with jumping in his arms and wrapping his legs around his waist, and they doing some physical thing. But then they cut to all the firemen who are like, this with Chuck and Larry apprehensive because of the gay thing. They're all taking a shower, and the big joke is a couple dudes drops the soap, slow motion, no, as the soap hits the fucking floor. And they're like, "No, you pick it up." Oh, no. After the soap hits the floor, in walks Ving Rhames. He's the only black dude there, big buff-ass Ving Rhames. Takes his towel off. He goes to shower. And he goes to pick up the soap. Ass just straight up in the air. Looks at Adam Sandler. Ding. Gives him a little eye wink. And then from there, he, every woman. And he starts butt clapping and jumping. And the guys in the shower going, whoa. Whoa, I just went, dude, this, yeah.
You're not making that today, though.
You're not making that today.
No, that's not good. Like I said, it could be made, but not that way.
And right, he had on his ass cheeks tattooed badass. The word bad on his left cheek and ass on his right cheek. Oh, God.
I know this comedian who said he was going to go get his, I thought this was funny, that he was going to go get his colonoscopy done. And so he went just to give the doctor a little surprise. He put a P on one cheek and a W on the other one. So when they opened up his ass cheeks to pick up,
that's disgustingly funny. That is disgustingly funny. What did Charles Barkley say? Charles said something similar to that. Oh yeah, I think he said he put two W's, one on each cheek. So if he's standing straight up, it says "wow." But if he does a handstand, it says "mom."
He also said when you're banging, when
a guy's banging you, those are the worst offenders actually, because you got to know how to spin off their body. Come on, man. What the fuck did you just say? Oh my God. I want to ride the monster. Oh God. All right. Rock Hudson.
Yeah, I was going to tell you there was another movie when we said this that I said couldn't be made today either. And I forgot what now I'm going to forget what it was. I forget all this shit anyway. So if I remember, I'll shout it out. Wait, hey, to the audience, what's the movies that can't be made today? What's the movies that you see that you can't do?
Right. Write that in. What movies today, from yesteryear, could not be made today?
Yeah.
That's a shame, isn't it?
Well,
art. It's art.
It's art, but sometimes we become better people, and some of the stuff that we did as art really just looks poor on our culture and our society. I get it.
I will never play that dangerous game, because the moment you put, however you want to phrase that, on art, and you want to coin it as we become better people, then we're fucking around.
Okay, then let me ask you this question.
Dangerous.
Since you say you'll never do that. A picture of little kids naked. Art. Picture, painting, whatever you want to say. Painting, photograph. How? Yeah, I know you, and I know why you're sliding out of the screen. But there is a difference between art and then going too far with that picture.
Yeah, when it goes too far, it's called breaking the law.
But with making sure that people are treated fairly, there are. Okay, I got one, for instance, on you for you so that we can get this and let's take. You know what, Steve? Go back and cut that whole kid thing out. Please.
No, you should. Don't,
okay.
Steve, don't cut that out.
Okay,
no,
leave it in then. Okay.
Leave it in.
When we saw I can't even remember the name of the movie now, but it's the one where the guy's playing. It's an older movie, like the 60s, 50s, where the guy, Audrey Hepburn movie, where the guy is playing the Asian dude, but he has the fake teeth in, and he's
Breakfast at Tiffany's. Yeah,
you wouldn't change that if you were going to remake that movie.
No, because for the same reason that you used to say we shouldn't change historical facts.
Right. No, I'm saying if you remade that, though, you wouldn't go, I can do better. I'm going to get a real Asian person.
Yes, I would get a real Asian person.
Okay. So you would make changes.
Okay. But I wouldn't get rid of that movie.
No, I'm not saying get rid of the movie.
Okay.
I'm just saying you would make changes to make it better.
Yes, I would get an actual Asian person.
And
yes.
I think that's part of what we're talking about here. You might make the jokes a little differently so that they didn't seem like they were being demeaning to a certain group of people. You could still make jokes. You can still make jokes.
Yes. I partly agree with you because I know what you're going for. I just get nervous because I the word censorship comes in flashing into my head, and I think when you start putting parameters on art.
Well, this is the other part of it, what you're saying. When what I said before when I go, little kids, let's do it a different way. There's a difference between censorship and then being of coming from a better place. And it's a close line too. It's a very close line. When is it censorship? Right. And when am I changing because I'm worried that I'm going to offend versus when I'm doing a better job because I represent community and culture in a better way. Right. There is a thin line there as well.
Yeah.
So I think this is what we're battling with right now. And this, if you read about news going on around the world or watch other news stations besides ours here in the States, you'll see that all of Western civilization is battling with this right now. But what is to improve culture and what is censorship? And that's what we're going through. And we'll have to figure it out because we've never had this much opportunity to reflect, see everything, and then shove it right back in our face after we say it. You used to be able to say something, then you might hear about it, but it wouldn't stay in a news cycle immediately after you said it. Now you say it on Monday in the morning, and by Monday evening, you could be canceled.
Social media.
So this is the difference, and this is why we're being held accountable. So it's going to be interesting to see how this breaks out. But yeah, that's enough on this movie. Tell us what movies we don't think could be made. Period. Now.
So Rock Hudson, I didn't know until I saw this documentary. His real name was Roy Fitzgerald.
Yeah,
and they changed it.
Not they. It was his manager.
His agent.
Yeah.
But the studio,
Yeah, the studio went with it, yeah.
Rock Hudson, and they said this in it. What a movie star name.
Yeah, well, there was other movie star names, but they didn't make it.
Right.
Tab Hunter I don't think Tab Hunter is his real name either. The other guy that they threw under the bus so that Rock Hudson could survive.
Oh.
There's a lot of different names like that that they came up that had that Dirk Diggler kind of sound to it, I guess.
Listen, I'm going to say straight up, this motherfucker was a movie star.
Yeah.
And especially back in that day, in terms of what embodied a movie star, and I think one of his producers said it when he said, "I want to bring glamour back to Hollywood." What and Doris Day said it in the movie Pillow Talk, which was my introduction into Rock Hudson, when there was the moment where she's in the car with him and you hear her voiceover, a little old, actually it came after that, but Woody, like in that movie, Woody Allen that we love, the one with the big one, the Annie Hall, is it Annie Hall?
Oh, Annie Hall, yeah.
When they had the scene on the roof, they're both thinking and we're hearing their thoughts. She's in the car and she goes, "My, what a marvelous looking man." He was a fucking marvelous looking dude. I mean, in terms, again, what embodied a movie star. Tall, physical presence, square jaw, a nice head of black hair, the way he talked.
Manly.
He was a fucking man, dude.
Manly. He was. I love when they're talking about it, and they said the agent or whatever was talking. He taught him how to be a man, right? Like how to image like a man, so that there was never any kind. And but before we get into this Hollywood thing and what happened here, he was in the Navy, and when you hear this about the Navy, remember in the Village People. The guy that's in the military is the Navy.
YMCA.
That's always been kind of the story that the Navy's the where the more gay guys would be in the Navy. And then so he comes out of the Navy, and we see Rock Hudson how he was projected to us.
Right.
But apparently there was a little bit of gay flamboyantness in Rock Hudson that he had to have that taken out of him to go onto screen because they didn't want.
I would have loved to have, because we never saw that ever,
because we just see what they
right. So I would have loved to have seen what that looked like, because again, my only image of him was what we all saw, what they wanted us to see. So yeah, as far as any flamboyancy or feminine traits. Yeah, I never saw that at all.
I didn't see it, and then to add to that, not only didn't you see it, it was so convincing that he could live with a man, share an apartment. Let me rephrase it: share an apartment with a 1-bedroom apartment with another man, and go in and film them in their house, and they would still project such a manly feel that it wasn't questioned by the mainstream.
And that was. I think they said he came to L.A. in 1946. So he was just coming off the cusp of that era. We know that era. Yes, Rock Hudson was the perfect white man. Tall, dark, and handsome, brooding physical presence, square jaw, and a head full of healthy black hair. And the women loved him, but he wasn't into the dames. He was into you-know-what? The male dookie shoots, the Hershey Highway, the chocolate cake holes, the penis pockets, the booty box, the nut neighbors, the ball-de-sacs, and the sperm worms. Hell, I even sucked his cock once and got a mouthful of jizz fizz. Brad Butler, yeah?
You really went out for that one. But now that you did this little workup to this part, let me just say this. The reason I said the movie was interesting, and I want people to understand why I said interesting.
The doc. Because
it's a doc, but it really wasn't about his career in Hollywood.
It's a dick doc.
What time is it, Dick Doc?
What's that?
It's not TikTok. It's
Dick Doc. It's Dick Doc.
Maybe that's the new instead of TikTok, it would be the gay TikTok is Dick Doc.
Dick Doc. Oh shit, we should copyright that. But go ahead.
But the point is, it was about him coming through Hollywood gay, masquerading, and what it was like to be at that time in Hollywood. That's really what it's about. It's not about his career. There's very little about his career. There's his big movies.
Yeah.
They don't even talk about McMillan and Wife when he came to TV. They just mention that he's in it.
Right.
But you don't really go, then he switched it. You don't get he was at a point in his career where he did this, and this is why it was just, but I find it very interesting because I have this other little side take on this.
All right.
Him and Dean Martin, to me, are very similar in.
Yes, but Dean's a man.
But there was no difference between the two,
right,
to the public.
Right.
Dean Martin was Dean Martin. That same hair.
Yeah.
Height.
Italian. That Italian shit.
Well, but Rock isn't Italian, but he has that.
Yeah,
but he has that. But he has that. He has a little swagger.
Almost see them. Dean Martin, Rock Hudson, and Cary Grant.
Cary Grant. Yeah.
Cary Grant. They all got that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Especially for that time and era.
So it's interesting that this Hollywood was just projection to us. This has no meaning. It really was just actors, but they were playing Rock Hudson. This is where I give the documentary its due and call it the documentary, is because what it explained to you in the documentary is that Rock Hudson himself was the character that he played his whole life.
Yeah.
And that's really what the documentary gets across. That's why I found it interesting, but it didn't give there. And this is why I'm very confused sometimes by how, and I want to make sure I say this without being offensive, because I'm not trying to put down anything in the gay community. You guys do however it's done, but it's not about sexuality. It's about more than just our sexuality. I've had people that are gay say to me, "Hey, you're only in bed 10% of your life. The other 90% is us being human." This movie's all just about that 10%. There's a little bit more than this 10%, but it's about, hey, he's gay. He's with men. He's doing this with men. This is with men. This is with men. So that's the part why I find it interesting, but also confusing on what a documentary about a gay man was. Is this about a gay man's life, or was this about a gay man being gay? Or is this, and this is why I say interesting, this is how I perceived this movie. It's a movie, it's a documentary about a gay man projecting a straight life and living a straight life, but being a gay man. And because he had to live a straight life in the public.
You know, you used the word interesting. I'm going to use the word funny because I thought it was hilarious that the perfect man in terms of a woman for women, because they you know, during his prime, in the peak of his Rock Hudsonness, make no mistake about it, and they alluded to this, and I've heard this before. My agent used to say, here's how, when you're a man, to be a star, the women need to want to fuck you, and the men need to want to be like you.
Yep.
And men wanted to be the Rock Hudson, and every woman wanted that motherfucker. And I went, isn't that something, that the woman's perfect man is a homosexual?
But it is someone who's going to listen, someone who'd want to go and do more effeminate things with them. It's not always about football and sports, and it was more about spending time.
I know what
together.
you mean. I'm speaking more towards the look.
Yeah,
he was the perfect, beautiful man who was a homosexual.
But see this is where I said this to you. I go, it's so irritating to me. And I know if you're a gay guy and you got another gay and you're attracted to another gay guy who's a good looking gay guy, but as a guy who's not the best looking guy, who always wanted attention from women, it would be so much easier to get the attention if you're more attractive. And it's harder. It's so hard for a guy to get that from a woman. I have to do so much more work to get a woman's attention than a Rock Hudson would have to do to get that woman's attention.
Or unless you just had game out the ass, dude.
But you still have to use your game. He could just show up and people would just go,
yeah.
Oh,
but to play the opposite of that, there are a lot of women who go, there are guys that look like him, fucking as interesting as a dead ant. No personality. That's all they got.
Okay.
Now listen, if that's all I got versus not having nothing, I'll take that. Because at least that gets you in the door.
Yeah.
And it may get you the pussy.
Yeah, but put it this way. You're out, you're young, you're 20, let's say 22, so you're at a bar, you're drinking. It's 11 o'clock at night. You can have all the game, all the personality, all that you want, and you got a minute or a 30-second window to introduce yourself. Who's making the impression? Rock Hudson?
Well, yeah.
Or the guy with all the game?
Well, Rock Hudson, because the visual is what you see first. But the dude with the game knows how to work around that.
I'm not saying you don't, but Jesus Christ, give me an entry.
I know what you mean. I know what you mean.
You know, it's the difference between walking into a great ballroom cotillion and having trumpets play when you walk in the room, or going through the kitchen in the back door.
Okay, right. I get it. But either way, you still get it.
Yeah. I'm not saying you can't pull it off.
Oh, yeah, no, I know. We're in agreement.
But it's the workload that you're carrying.
Yes. When his agent, who obviously was gay too, because he said to one actor that he was going to sign, he said, I'll sign you, but then you'll sleep with me. This motherfucker said he didn't eat. It was so like, you're going to do this. And listen, we talked about it way back when on the podcast. We always know Hollywood's been about the casting couch, AKA the Harvey Weinsteins. But damn it. It's like, it's literally like a gun to your head. Like, you want the life, you want the money, you want the fame, you want the wealth, you want to be this movie star. Okay, suck my dick. Not even an ask.
But what's interesting about it, and what I found interesting about it, as we're going through the scenario, and Harvey Weinstein, who barbaric, if that's what, if everything is true, barbaric, and even if everything's not true, barbaric incidents regardless. I'm not saying, I'm just saying there's a lot out there. Right. But for the most part, yeah, that's horrible. Everything you say that has been said that he's done. But we limited this in a conversation to it was just women being abused by these men. This has been going on in Hollywood forever, and it's not just, it's power. And if you have the power, it doesn't make a difference if you're a man or a woman. If you have the power, people tend to take advantage of their power. Jesus. And so men were in the same predicament as women were, by men. So, because there wasn't really any powerful Hollywood people at that time, I'll say that, but there was Hollywood people, women who ran other parts, the gossip columnists who had a lot of power, as well. So don't think that there ain't women playing some shady shit in Hollywood either.
Yeah, but they all look like Penny Marshall during her retired years.
Okay.
Wouldn't it be nice to have a Halle Berry who's a movie producer who goes, you can be in this flick, but you got to eat my pussy.
But this is the difference. And again, men and women. If a guy is out and it's a reasonable, she doesn't have to be the most attractive person in the world. I'm sorry, she doesn't. You just have to have the right moment. And she says, hey, I'm going to give you this part, but you're going to eat my pussy. Guys, for the most part, I mean, if it's not disgusting.
Listen, if a woman that was Halle Berry-like in her prime was in the studio exec, and she said to me, I'm going to give you this part, but you got, she won't even finish the sentence, nigga. I'm already there.
Yeah, but it's not even about the part. You would be going, and if you still want to give me the part.
Right. Right.
Women are, it's different.
And that's what you say as you mid-chew. And you do want to give me the part. Yeah.
But it's different for women.
Oh, God.
But it's also power because there's the dominance of it. She may be dominating the part over you, but you still feel like you're a dominant physically person.
And the cold part about it is morally irrehensible. How you say that word?
And now that I listened to you try to say it 3 times, I can't.
You said cotillion. So
cotillion's a real word.
I know, but if you can say cotillion, reprehensible. As morally reprehensible as that is, let's be honest, technically they ain't breaking no laws unless it's rape, unless they force you.
Well, if you're
not breaking any laws.
Yeah.
If I'll sign you, but you'll sleep with me. That ain't a broken law.
I think it is, though.
Is it? How?
Yeah, because I think there has to be something, because your work is not. That would be like saying
sexual harassment.
Yeah, because that's like saying, if you were working for someone before you have the job. That's an interesting question. Before you have the job, and they said, yeah, I'm going to get you this job, but you're going to have to sleep with me, and then I'll sign you. That's interesting because if you don't have the job, then it's not harassment. You just don't get the job.
Right.
But I still think that there's repercussions for that. I'm not a lawyer here, but I think there's repercussions for that because I don't think you can do that. I think there's something illegal about it. But it's just how we approach this differently. You don't hear about this from the men the same way. And if you listen to this doc, the men were going through this just as much, if not more, than some of the women. And then we even hear today where certain people have come out and said their agent has, been inappropriate and those men are kind of almost laughed at some point. But now you see this kind of brings in a little bit more light onto this issue.
Again, he came from that era where, you forget that television came out in the 50s. He started making movies, I think it was like mid-40s.
47, I thought.
46,
yeah.
47.
Yeah.
So this was before movies. Some of them weren't even in Technicolor, wasn't out yet, black and white. And I just went, dude, I mean, if you were a straight white man, Hollywood was just you were a kid in a candy store. And I just went, to think that we should all be able to dream. As children, we should all dream. And we want to believe that all our dreams can come true. And I just went, dude, if you was a black person in the 1940s who went to movies and that was your dream, it was just a dream. You had no shot.
One of the movies in there was nothing but black people in that movie. It was one movie. They all had the
in
worst.
The jungle?
Yeah. There was. Fuck, dude. I honestly, this is gonna sound so fucked up. I just saw King Kong, the original one.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of black actors in King Kong, but they're all playing the jungle part.
Yeah, that was par for the course.
But it was weird because there's no other. They're coming out of the New York Harbor. There's no black people in the whole movie.
Dude, I'm telling you, it just. And again, that's what sucks because that's one of those where you go, thank God I wasn't of that time, because you just go. If you were a kid or even a grown adult looking at a movie and you love the arts and you love cinema and you wanted to do that and that was your dream, you want to believe that no one can tell you can't accomplish your dream. But back then, you really couldn't. You really couldn't.
No. It was going to be very difficult. It was going to be
damn impossible.
It's going to be very difficult for a long time.
At least on a major Hollywood mainstream level, because that didn't happen really till Sidney Poitier.
Yeah,
in the 60s.
Yeah, you're not going to be the star of
right.
film.
You either had to do a Mantan Moreland or be a Stephen Fletcher, which meant a stereotype, or do an independent black film. The chances are no one was going to see.
I don't think there was. Was there independent black films at that time? Not in the 40s?
Yeah, in the 40s and 50s. When cinema started, remember when we saw that documentary on Netflix, Is This Black Enough for You? They talked about those 20, 30, 40 eras where there were black filmmakers and black films. But who saw those? So again, if you're dreaming and your dream is to dream big and go, I want to do what he's doing on the big screen, major mainstream. In that era, that was just a dream. That's fucked up. That's just so fucked up. Yeah. Dude, it was so hard for me to conceive that Rock Hudson, being the dreamboat that he was, the movie star, that when he did all these scenes with women where he's kissing them and hugging them, his dick was as still as Stephen Hawking. No movement. Nothing. No arousal of any kind. That's crazy to me. Because when I did that movie, Love Chronicles, with Lisa Ray, I don't know if you know who Lisa Ray is, but she was in that movie with Bernie Mac and Jamie Foxx, Players Club. She was hot back then. Like, she was like the hot girl. And we did a love scene. And I mean, my dick was hard as fuck.
Do they put something over you so you don't?
Yeah, you got shorts. They cover you.
Yeah, but do they put something so that she doesn't feel like your dickness on her?
Nah.
So she knew you were hard.
I was moving in such a way where she wouldn't feel it.
I hate to tell you this, Aries, but there's some people that no matter how they were moving in whatever way.
They gonna feel it. Yeah. Them niggas come from the Africa region. Yeah.
So
them are the King Kanians, nigga.
But that
But the funny thing is it goes away quick.
It does, because then you realize
it's so technical. All the cuts and the
so
angles.
then you get into your head and then it goes away.
It goes away quick.
Have you used that technique in real life where you're fucking someone and you think, oh, I'm going to come, and then you go, let's make it technical, and then you go into your head so that you don't fuck.
So that I don't come?
Yeah.
No. I come before the opening credits.
You want to enjoy the movie.
Yeah. Just as the last preview ends, so the movie begins, there I go.
I don't, the thing is though, physical contact, you don't think that if you're with someone, they're still attractive. I don't know. You don't think?
One time, and my agent, William, who's gay, I forget where I think it was the AVN Awards. And, he's running all throughout the fucking hotel and casino, going to every party, and there's just naked bitches everywhere. And it's me, him, and my manager. And at one point, we're in this one room, and it's just 1,000 titties. And my manager just turns to my agent and goes, nothing? Just nothing? He goes, nope.
Well, see, that's funny because I've had other gay dudes that have said, I like titties.
Right.
Like titties are beautiful. Like women are beautiful. Like the curves, the titties and
right.
All. But the pussy. Ooh.
Jesus.
So I don't get that 100%.
Nigga, that one part in the documentary.
Yeah, okay. Here we go.
I'm talking about. When they show the newspaper ad for the sex house in San Francisco, and it's this naked dude. I mean, this nigga's cock looked like an entire elephant trunk. I just went, ugh. Ah.
That's not the part that got me. The part that got me in this, that took me through an emotional roller coaster, I'll be honest, is when a lover of his, and they spoke to a lot of his
I know where you're
lover.
going. Oh. He said, Rock had a nice size cock, and he tried to use it.
He said dick, by the way.
Right.
Because it's ingrained in there.
What? Hold up. Let me not.
Because it etched into my fucking brain.
Yes. He said Rock had a sizable dick. He tried to put that thing up my ass, but I said, no way. Not that I've ever had any moment of guessing or questioning, because I know I am 100% full-blooded heterosexual nigga. But a line like that makes me go, yeah, no. Hard pass for me. I don't even want to say hard pass. Pass for me. No.
The reason I said it took me on an emotional roller coaster is you can't help but when someone says that, like there's some imagery that happens in your head.
That's that joke that I used to do when I said, give me a gay delay. Not that I can't hang out with gay people, but if you're going to say gay, raunchy, wild shit, yo, you got to give me a warning. Because once you put it out there, you put porno in my head. You force me. You can't not do it. The image, once it's said and the ear hears it, the mind makes the picture. And you are forcing me to watch gay porn.
And this is what I'll say. Anybody who's listening to this, and I'm going to say when he said that was a cringe moment. I went, ugh.
Yes.
Okay. And I think it was.
And it's an honest reaction.
And that's the point I was going to make. It's an honest reaction. Yeah, I don't care if you're gay, straight, whatever you are. But I've had enough. I've been around enough gay people to know that they've said to me, yeah, I don't care. Just like I'm sure with us, you go, ugh.
Right.
When we were talking about a man and a woman together, they ooh too, ugh too.
Right.
So it's equal.
Right.
This isn't a game that we're playing where it's all hate. I don't even want to use that hatred. Where it's all on one side. We both sides this shit.
Right.
Unless you're in the middle and you can play both sides. And if you can do that, I got to be honest. Congratulations to you. You have doubled your odds when you go out at night. Congratulations to you. You have figured out a way to play tennis on each side of the fucking net. Good for you. But I can't do that. And and me and the other and then the other side of that, the gay people that can't do that either. Yeah, they feel the same way. So we're not on. It's not like we're against each other. Some people like certain things and other people like different things. That's all it is. And I'm okay with that. But when he said that, I was like, I went.
I did the same thing.
Oof. Not only now do I know Rock Hudson had a big dick, number one.
Oof.
Now I see this guy's face knowing that he's throwing it in that. And that guy had to go, I'm sorry. That's more.
Oof.
There's more rock in there than I can handle.
Oof. Oof. Here's where I will, empathize a little bit with the Rock situation. They said, because in those days they said anything of that nature that would come out, you being gay, would destroy your career completely. And I find it rather interesting that, as we all know, Hollywood has been gay. It's heavily populated with gay people. For an industry to be that gay, why would you punish someone like that? Why would you?
They don't. Hollywood isn't the ones that punish it. When I told you the power comes from, and it did, a lot of the women who were in the gossip magazines and the columns, and men too, but they ran gossip magazines, movie magazines, all those magazines. If they wanted to ruin someone, they would, and they knew that they were gay, they could ruin them, and they would. Because
simply by saying they're gay?
That was their power, yeah, because America was being sold something. They wanted, first of all, let's go back to those days that we're talking about when you first see this, and let's go to TV. What is all the shows? Leave It to Beaver,
wholesome family
shows. Everything's wholesome. Everything's family. Everything had to be about wholesome, traditional American family. What did that mean? White, stereotypical family, kids. You couldn't even do a show, and then you didn't show them in bed. Remember, they would always be in separate beds.
Yes.
Desi Arnaz, who was Lucy's husband in real life, they tried to fight him being her husband on the television show. Wouldn't let him be her husband on the radio show because they wanted an American type of actor. So they didn't care what you did in real life. It was what you were selling to the American people that they wanted, because
niggas and gays.
No one that wasn't white. I'm gonna be, because Desi had a hard time fighting that.
Right.
And he's actually well known, her husband, and they don't even want to put that on the TV. And then if you go to their bedroom, there's twin beds. You go to the Brady Bunch's bedroom. The first year of the Brady Bunch, Mike Brady, he's gay in real life. The guy who's playing him, he's gay in real life, and they have twin beds for the married couple that they're playing on television. This is how.
I didn't know that.
Yes, this is how they wanted to sell America.
Brady Bunch?
Yeah, even in the Brady Bunch, they weren't in one bed for. I think they're one of the first television shows to put a whole bed in.
Wow.
And they didn't even need a whole bed because those kids were from separate marriages, so they didn't have to fuck to have those three kids each.
Right.
So that's what they wanted to sell. They wanted to sell this wholesome adventure so that to me, honestly, the Brady Bunch was the worst thing for me in my life, because I saw a family. I came from a family. My mom was divorced, so she married my what is my dad, and they got married and they had 2 more kids. So I'm from this non-traditional house. My mom's Hispanic. My dad is Italian. So he, today he's white, but back then he wasn't, the standard white. And that family is kind of a little it's reminiscent of the Brady Bunch, but my dad didn't do the things that Mr. Brady did. We didn't have a housekeeper. We never went to the butcher. We went to the regular store to get our shit. And so that show fucked me up because I thought my family was fucked up. And really what was fucked up is everything that they were selling the people in America. Those families didn't really exist. And if they did, good for you. Fuck you. Good for you. Fuck you. I'm glad you had that family, but fuck you because most of us didn't.
Right. That's what was so great about those CNNs, about thank God that Tom Hanks produced those, about every decade of television, because it came a point where television finally said, let's stop selling falsehoods and start selling reality. And the TV shows mirrored more of what family's always been, dysfunctional, fucked up. I don't know that it's ever been, yes, I know what they wanted, what they were trying to sell us. Leave It to Beaver, and like you said, that wholesomeness. And yes, that did exist. But is that to say that dysfunctional families and fucked up families or families with gay relatives didn't exist? That existed too. But that's not where the emphasis was. The sell was on wholesome America, apple pie.
Well, because they wanted to sell product. And to sell product, the people who sold shampoo and detergent for your clothes and that, they wanted to be on a wholesome show.
But the irony in that is, you mean to tell me those people weren't gay?
Oh,
or doing fucked up shit?
Probably. I mean,
everybody's fucked up.
Every facet of America has a wide array of different people involved in it. So yes, you would think that back then they would have went, hey, let's be honest, let's bring everybody, let's be inclusive, but they didn't want to do that because they're afraid that's not how you sell things. And then you go back, and to prove it, Rock Hudson goes, and he had a fear of being exposed. And they had some interviews where they talked about him that I forgot the gossip columnist's name that was in this, who was a very famous gossip columnist in the 70s. Barrett, whatever, the blonde chick that was in there and was talking to him. But the gay community does that little spoof where they're saying that Jim Nabors.
Yeah, he married Jim Nabors.
And that was like a spoof. That was a joke that got some momentum and then got picked up by other people, and that cost him his problems. So even as joking, it wasn't going to fly in the American public. And I remember when I found out that, like, I didn't know Rock Hudson was gay until they announced that he had AIDS. I didn't know as a kid. He was like one of those people that the love interest. And I was confused. This is the guy that women, like my mom's people, were like going, this is gorgeous, man. And then you find that out. Then I always liked Gomer Pyle. I thought that was a fun show. Gomer Pyle, SS, and he was on Mayberry. And this is the other question. You have Gomer Pyle on Mayberry.
Oh boy, that guy.
Yeah. He's on Mayberry, and you have these Andy Williams, these very traditional. How fucked up is Hollywood at that time? That everybody is. And I guess this is what it goes to. And I think I think it was Seinfeld that said this. All actors want to be someone else. Mm-hmm. All comedians just want to be themselves. That's their goal, is to be themselves, to be on stage and be themselves and project who they are. And actors want to be someone else. And I guess if you look at it at that time and Hollywood's new and an influx of people who can't be themselves, what's a more perfect place than to go to some place that you get to pretend to be anybody else but yourself?
See, and I was going to say, so, because obviously, again, there's a lie being sold. So is it simply about escapism? Are we selling this lie for just purely escapism? I know what you mean, and about product, about the business side, But again, some of those people at Colgate or whoever makes cereals or cars, there's gay people in those places. You know what I'm saying? There's people in those places that are fucked up, that come from fucked up families and dysfunctional. So to try to paint this perfect picture, we know is a lie. But is it just simply about escapism? Like, it just,
I think,
why are we selling this lie?
I think it was more, and I could be completely wrong, but here's how I would look at it. I think there was a new business, and what they did with Hollywood, and they did it in radio before, they did it with entertainment. Let's put it this way. And radio had a little bit more flexibility at that time because it had been around longer. But with television and movies, I think they went for a very narrow perspective because it was easier to make the traditional idea the focus so that you could sell your product, so that you could bring the most people to the theater, so that the most people would turn on the television. Because obviously Hollywood's created, and this is fact, Hollywood was created really by Jews. The business of Hollywood.
What?
Yeah. Hollywood was, there was movies, but Hollywood, when it became a Jewish business, which it did, they didn't project Judaism on the screen. You would have think of these guys were running it. Actually, they all changed their names, and they didn't even use their original last names, so that it didn't even seem like it was Jewish. They didn't project that. They wanted to project a very small, tight-knit little area of what America was to the general public, so that they could sell their products and they could keep it safe and they could keep it without controversy. And I think that's what it was. And so if you were a gay guy or a lesbian woman and you wanted to go and be able to live life a little bit freer, well, go play the part that you play anyway in your real life so that people don't judge you. And then be in a group of people that are doing the same thing so that you can have an almost regular life. And I think that's what that was what Hollywood gave them.
You know, one thing that he said early on in the documentary, you know, and Hollywood doesn't do this anymore. And I don't know if it's a good or bad thing, but he's, you know, in those days, he said, Hollywood took care of you. They got you your house, your car, your clothes. They fed you.
That was being under contract by the studio.
Right. And all you had to do was show up and perform and concentrate on your performance. You didn't even have to show up.
They went and got you and brought you to the set.
Yeah, everything. I like that, but I don't know that I like that, but I don't. I don't know. There's something. You like that? That concept?
The studio system worked for a long period of time, for quite a while. And I think that it's good in the aspect that you can control it. You know, you didn't have to, especially today.
They could control you?
Not you, but control the mesh that's going out. But they did control you. That's the other problem with it. You would sign a 3, 7-picture, 10-picture deal, and then you were locked up with them. So you had to do what they said. And, you know, you could go get fucked up one night and you could, you know, crash a car, and then they would come get you and fix all that for you and do that. But that makes you also irresponsible as a person. And I think that that's what started to happen to that studio system, is it degenerated because people never had to take responsibility for the wrong things that they were doing. And because it was going to be controlled, and they were going to, you know, this is part of the, do you know who I am philosophy? Do you know who I am? I'm
right.
And I think that ultimately was bad for the business. But if you were starting off and you didn't have a lot of money, you came to Hollywood. But again, go to the Godfather. I had to start. I got her dance lessons. I got her acting lessons, and
she was the best piece of ass I ever had.
So then,
here comes Johnny Fontaine with his guinea charm and his olive oil looks.
Right. So that's those people who control the studio, then controlled the new people coming in, and they were able to take advantage of that situation. So yes, ups and downs. There's advantages to it, but anybody with power can take advantage of it.
Right.
So I don't know. It was enlightening, and that's why I said interesting to me, because it was a very enlightening documentary. But to call it a Rock Hudson documentary and not really give the career of Rock Hudson, they gave an arc of a career, but you know, I don't know Rock Hudson any better. I just know how gay he was now.
Right.
And I know that his trials and tribulations from being gay in Hollywood at that time in America.
Well, the part where I really had empathy for him is when he had, you know, obviously they staged what was to be his marriage to his agent secretary, and then they lived in a house together. And I just went, can you imagine living that lie? Like you're sharing a house with someone who the media has put out there that's your wife. You live in a house. They went on a honeymoon. They were photographed, you know, and you go to sleep and you wake up. I don't know if they sleep in the same bed, but I would imagine maybe he sleeps on the couch. Why? You know what I mean? Like, to have to live a life that you know you don't want to live when basically y'all are just roommates.
But
And
wait.
what if you can't stand each other?
But wait, well, that happens in real life with real relationships all the time. They can't stand it. You marry someone, that doesn't change whether you're
Yeah,
straight
but at least
or gay.
at one point it was real and it was love.
Listen, I think you might be better off sometimes just being in a relationship for people just to believe it than to actually have to go through a relationship to suffer with it through someone else. But this is an aha moment for me too. So they staged the marriage that you say they never say it's 100% staged, but they said that she was possibly a lesbian and he was gay, and then they got together and he was she was the secretary of his so it worked. But then later, she sues him and takes away almost everything he owns because she said she wasn't part of this. She didn't know that he was gay. Did you not see that part in there? When she sues him, she sues him, takes almost everything that he has because she wasn't part of this, and they never, she never agreed to being in this fake relationship.
Even in a fake relationship, she gets the real money. God damn it for these women, man. Oh my God. Woo.
So I thought that was like, when that happened, I was like, Jesus.
Damn.
So you can't put anything past anybody. And this also goes to show that no one is above being a swindler. No one is above. When we talk about getting fucked in deals, everybody fucks everybody. Whoever has the position of power, unless they have some kind of ethics, they take it, man. They take it and take from you.
2 quick questions, and this is just from guy to guy. Bangable or not?
Rock Hudson.
Doris Day.
Bangable.
Liz Taylor.
Bangable.
Oof. A young Liz Taylor, man.
Unbelievable.
Jesus.
Even when even into some, listen, I'm not going to be ageist, but
Be what?
Ageist.
What's that mean?
Where I take age and then I.
That's a real word?
Yeah.
Ageist?
Ageist.
You shocked the shit out of me, man.
And then, I'm not dumb. I just don't speak well.
I know, but every now and then a gem comes out.
My brain doesn't always like fire. All the synapses aren't fucking working.
Oh, man.
I get a little of that white instead of 1, 2, 3, 4.
Right.
I'm like 1, 5, 18, 12. My brain doesn't always hit it right, you know?
Wow. Okay.
So, but no, I'm not an idiot. But yeah, even when she was, she aged well. And then there was a period where she just kind of lost
the 80s.
it. Yeah, and she lost it. But she still had that beautiful eyes, that her face was, there was nothing wrong with her. But Doris Day is underrated today because she's forgotten about.
Yeah.
But there's something about her because she was so cute.
Let me tell you, I'm telling you, pillow talk, man.
She's so cute.
I beat off to her in pillow talk.
She's cute, though. She has that so innocent look.
Right.
But she's in Hollywood, so do you think that innocence is for real? Nah, that's acting, right?
Hey. Let me ask you something. Because they showed the one as towards his 70s and later years where he was in some TV show. I don't know if it was McMillan and Wife, but he was on some TV show.
McMillan and Wife.
Okay, where him and his partner are getting back massages.
Yeah.
And they're laying in
that's
on the
McMillan
thing.
and Wife. Too.
Okay. One, are you into massages?
Yeah, I like a massage.
Massages don't do shit for me. But my question is this. Would you let a man massage you?
Okay, I'm going to answer this, and it's going to be the honest answer. I was never wanting a man to massage me, honestly, because and to this day, I still have the same trepidation that I'm about to deliver right now. What I'm saying.
I think I know where you're going with this.
No, there's a contact. There's physical contact. So do I want a man rubbing me? And I would like to say no. I was at a club, a sports club, and I was having a problem with my calf, my shin, all the way up to my thigh. And there was a sports masseuse there. It was a dude, the best massage I ever got. But it was focused on really my injury because that's what he specialized in.
You didn't go where I thought you were going, but go ahead.
No, but I'll get to where I'm going. No, it was good. It was a good massage. It felt good. but it's still the beginning is so uncomfortable because they start off when they're rubbing you. They start off with a little bit and okay, where's your injury? But then they start off with they touch your shoulders. It feels good, but it's a guy and it's very uncomfortable. To me, I'm sorry. I'm not that. I know there's some people that are listening to this and go, "Oh, you sound like a homophobe." It's not a homophobe. I'm just maybe it is. I'm just not there. I have not developed past where that physical contact to me does not invoke some kind of weird feeling.
I am with you.
So, but then when he was talking to me, okay, so what's your injury? How did you injure yourself? Right. And he's going through it. It ceases to be about any of that. And then all of a sudden it's like he got in there and he fixed me, man. Seriously. I went to him twice. He fixed me. He got my leg working again. And this was when I was younger. I was only like 27 maybe at the time. Mm-hmm. And he fixed my leg. It was much better. And he got in there and he told me like stretches that I had to do. And I still have a problem. It's my right leg. And I still have a problem with that hip where it's not open. I still have to do exercises for it. So yes, that would make sense. And I like foot. Do you get foot massages?
Well, here's where I was going. One, like I said, I'm not a massage guy. Even when my girl be like trying to rub my back, I'm like, babe, this does nothing for me. But I do get pedicures. And I'm very ticklish, so I don't even like the whole exfoliating and anything where they got, I just like my toes to be cut, the cuticle thing, get the dead skin off. I'm good. But when I go into the nail salon, there's always the one dude who's doing a woman. But most of the nail techs are women. Yeah. But I always go, hey, I need a woman. If all other women are busy and I see he's available, I go, no, I need a woman. So I can't let a dude touch my feet, man, or my body. I don't blame you on that if it's just for what you're doing. But I like going to reflexology massages where they just do your feet and they get into your feet and every part of your foot's supposed to represent a part of your body and an organ. I went to this one place and it was always women that came out and do it. They put your foot in that little tea bath thing and they let it soak up in there. And I was in San Diego and I stopped in this place and my feet were kind of bothering me. And my girl goes, get a massage, get one of those reflexology massages. There's a bunch of them around here. So I went to this one. It was really nice. They had this really like tea that they gave. It was really good. But she said I was going to have to wait because the person who does the reflexology isn't here. And so I'm okay. And I'm waiting. It was like 10, 15 minutes. This dude comes busting through the door. And I was like, oh, that's a dude. And it's an Asian dude. But an older Asian dude comes busting through the door. And I went, hey, you know what? He came all the way over here. I'm not going to be a weirdo. It's a foot massage. It's not like he's going to be touching my body or anything. It's just my... That is your body, but but not like, your balls. Yeah. So he does the whole thing, and this dude, he gets out these tools, dude. He got out like these chopstick looking things, and he actually sticks them in your foot to get deeper into whatever your areas are. Dude, if I knew who this guy was, I'd go back to him. I never had a foot massage like that foot massage from that dude. He knew what he was doing. It didn't hurt, but there was some uncomfortableness in it. But as soon as he let go, that pressure was gone, and it just. Right. And I was like, okay, so a dude can stronger, he can get in there. And then they do that thing to your calf where they punch your calf. Right. And I don't know if your chick does that to you when you're getting your foot. Dude, there's this thing where they punch your calf and they do it right, man. That whole thing just changes the way your leg feels. So no, the honest truth is I would get a guy to do my massage, but it has to be someone who really knows I'm not going to like Joe, who just got his masseuse license. Because he might slip you some dick. He might. I don't know who he is, and I don't need it. But a dude who knows his business is stronger. So I'm not. If it's a sport massage, I'd go get it done by a dude if he knows what he's doing. But that foot thing, I'd definitely go back to a dude if he knew what he. And I hate to sound this is going to sound fun. If it was an Asian dude, an older Asian dude, I'm asking for the old Asian dude if he knows what he's doing. Hey, especially if I saw that he had a toolkit with those little things in there. I'm like, that dude knows what he's doing. Right. My last note is when it was announced Rock Hudson had AIDS, and even before that, when AIDS popped up on the scene and was the big scary plague, and Liz was like, the silence. What alarms me is no one's doing anything. And then they interviewed this one guy who was talking to this one chick, and he was like, let's be honest, if AIDS wasn't perceived to be a gay disease and this was affecting you or middle white straight America, this would be taken seriously. And I'm just going, it's amazing how when something like AIDS or COVID happens, it brings out the truth in people, which is to say, it seems like it brings out the worst in people. Now, I know that it also can bring out the good in people, but just when something is new and scary, just like with COVID, but AIDS didn't shut the world down. COVID shut the world down. But I want to say, look, I don't know which statistically has been deadlier. I would think COVID, right?
No.
AIDS killed more people than COVID?
Yeah, I think AIDS kills, and it continues to kill more people.
But AIDS isn't the big scare that it once was.
No, but you get HIV, and now
the commercials they show now is like
you can have a cocktail and you can get through. You can
where they say it's undetectable.
Well, you can get through. If you get AIDS, you're dead.
Okay,
but HIV, if you can keep it to HIV and possibly even get ahead of HIV, you can live a normal life. But AIDS, there were so many people that died of AIDS because they couldn't get that HIV. They didn't know what the HIV cocktail was to get people under control in the first place. That took years, and it took a lot of what yours. I don't want to go back to
when Magic Johnson was HIV positive. I remember he was taking like 9 or 10 pills a day. Now is it like down to 1?
No, it's more than 1. I think it's 3.
But like I said, it's almost like
it's more manageable.
More manageable.
They cut up, but without Magic Johnson, do they get it to that point? Because he was someone that you wanted to live, and I mean I'm saying this in the way that.
But I think even without Magic, as time goes on, and evolves, the stigma's it's not going to be.
The stigma goes away a little bit, but no, the stigma doesn't go away unless heterosexual people get it. Here's I'm going to say it this way. This is where religion and the Bible and the interpretation of the Bible can get in the way of a lot of different things. Because it was perceived as a gay disease, religious people were able to go, well, this is God taking is getting rid of the gays. That's exactly what conservative people had said at that time. That wasn't their instruction to have to do anything about it because this was a gay disease and this was caused by being gay. And that was the hurtful part.
Still some inhumane. That's inhumane thinking.
Yeah, go read the Old Testament and tell me how humane the Old Testament is. It's about listening to God and God's will. And so if you're deviating from God's will, then that's
you get what you
get what you deserve. You reap what you sow. So that was the huge part of the problem. You get Reagan in office, who's leaned into the moral majority, which was all the religion. He brought in all this religion into the White House, which was not.
Nancy Reagan said for a long time he wouldn't even address it.
Well, and this is the other problem. This is where it gets really weird. He was in Hollywood. He's part of Hollywood. He was an actor. He was the president of the Actors Guild. You don't think that he has a bunch of gay friends and knows who's gay and who's not gay, and now you're going to turn your back on everybody because you're running with the moral majority crowd because now you're president? This is why I always say the president is not the person in the power. The people who make you president, appoint you, the person to run is the people that have the power. So he turned his back on it. And they obviously were very involved in Hollywood and had a lot of connections to that community. And they did nothing for it. There's aspects about people that I hate, and that's one of the aspects about Reagan that I really hate. You see him turn his back on it, but this has been going on. This happens in subtle ways. I'm not gonna. How do I say this? Because I want to say it about it. There's a state. I'll say it's Utah. In Utah, there's a bunch of people. This is in the 80s.
Just for so you know, in Utah, they still sleep in separate beds.
Yeah, in the 80s with special pajamas on. But this was in the 80s, and there was cocaine. This is way back in the 80s, not now where you're having people dying of fentanyl, but there was several people that died of cocaine. And I'm not going to make this a big because it's not huge, but it just goes to show you what I'm trying to say. I don't know how many people died of cocaine, like maybe 20, 30 died, maybe not even that high of this bad batch of cocaine that apparently had something in it that was killing people. They did nothing about it. And the story disappeared within a few days. They didn't care. in. They didn't care because cocaine's illegal and you shouldn't be doing cocaine. So if you did it, it was just ridding the world of drug users. The morals, your morals sometimes, especially when you mix it in with what's right, what you feel is right, and religion, is one of the most dangerous things in the world. Religion can be so amazing. It could be so great. It can really bring people to a better place, but it could also be the most divisive. Divisive, both of them will work.
Really?
Yeah. Things in the whole world to hurt people. And when we go back to the AIDS epidemic, and when no one knew what it was, and it hit the way that it did, it was irresponsible for people not to take it seriously just because they looked at it as it was a group of people that the moral majority didn't care about or want in this country. And that is the truth. So it was sad that I remember the blanket, and they kept making the blanket, and the blanket was getting bigger, and then took up a whole football field, and now it would be huge. But I think if you go long term from the time it was till now, I think AIDS has killed definitely more people than COVID did. I think.
Okay, but again, back to my original point. Regardless as to who's killed more than who, I just think, like, Jesus Christ, man, what is it about when something comes that you don't know? It scares you to the point where you lose your humanity. To just go, we ain't gonna do nothing about this, because whether you think it affects me or not, or there's a crisis. So, and it's a crisis of epic proportions. Do something.
Well, you say that, but then if I looked at you,
like when COVID hit, Asians getting abused and physically attacked and being fucked with that. This is what it's going to bring out of human beings.
Okay. I think that there's
stereotypes and name calling and physical abuse and ignorance and acting, overacting and overreactions. And
I'm going to say this, and again, it's not to be offensive, but how much of this Asian hate, let me just ask you this question. How much Asian hate did you see?
I hear you. I know what you're saying. Right.
This
not a lot.
No, I didn't. And I think that I saw there was as much Asian hate when this happened as there was before. Asians have had issues with different communities in this country for a long time. I'm not saying that's okay. What I'm saying is the media at this particular time in our lives has done more to reflect every horrible thing and nothing good than ever before. And I'm not saying that anything about the COVID thing is good. And I'm not saying anybody should just be beaten up. But when you're walking down the street and you see someone just check an Asian dude for no reason and doesn't yell. I never heard anybody hit an Asian dude in any of these videos that we saw and yell COVID and then run off
like a Kobe.
Yeah. I'm just saying.
Right.
But we knew that had happened before. And I think that
we knew that it happened before, but you have to admit there is a connection.
There is a connection, but I think we tried to sell this as that now because of this is happening. And I'm sure the conversations were brutal. I'm sure there's a lot of fucked up people out there that said, well, the Asians brought it here, which the Asians didn't bring it here. It was allowed to escape out of a lab that happened to be in Asia that was funded by the United States. So you take that any way that you want to. I can't put that all on what this. It wasn't like COVID sprung up and all of a sudden there was this Asian hatred. These people existed before then, so I can't go there on that. But I will say, why do we get into these places where we just don't want to help people and we don't want to help other humans? And the reason why is because their religion and their God has told them that they don't have to. That's the Middle East is still fighting over this completely. So religion, that's why I say I'm not a religious person. I don't have a religious doctrine that I follow because I feel that there's more damage through religion than there is through our empathy and our humanness. We should be humans. And if we're human, all we want to do is make sure that the other person that's standing next to you is okay. I don't think that we're And now everything is an ulterior motive. Why does everybody? Nothing's for protection. Nothing's to help anybody. We're just horrible all the way around, and all people are horrible. And that's really what the projection of the media is, and that we have to do everything. And we're horrible in order of what we are. Whites are the most horrible, and then we go down from there to who's affected by it. And the media likes this. It likes this. I don't know why it likes this, but it likes this. It likes really trying to put a face on what's bad. And I think we're all bad. We all have the potential to be bad, but we all have the potential to be great.
You say potato, I say potato. You say divisive, I say divisive. Divisive, 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 divisive. Let's call the whole thing off. Give us some dates.
You ready?
Yeah.
Hey, by the way, nice job, Irvine. You guys did it well.
Yes.
July 13th through the 15th, we're at the Punchline in Sacramento. July 20th to the 23rd, we're at the Houston Improv. Looking forward to that. Not that I'm not looking forward to San Francisco, but Houston's one of those that we always have marked on our calendar. July 27th to the 30th, the Comedy Zone in Jacksonville, Florida. August 3rd through the 5th, Mic Drop in San Diego, California. August 11th through the 13th, Raleigh Improv in Cary, North Carolina. August 17th to the 20th, the Comedy Zone in Charlotte, North Carolina. August 24th to the 27th, Tommy T's in Pleasanton, California. And getting back to the roots of comedy, August 31st to December 3rd, Helium in Philadelphia.
Yeah.
Where Aries is going to run up the stairs at the building. I don't even know the name, but where they have Rocky in front of the building. Aries is going to run up there like Rocky because he's been training hard. I met his trainer this weekend. He's going to bring those little gloves, that really shitty picture that he had for a long time where he had those little gloves on his finger. And he's going to run up there with those little gloves on his finger and dance on the top. That he made it like Rocky danced when he got to the top. And then he's going to walk down.
You say vagina and I say vagina. You say penis and I say penis. Penis, 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 penis. Let's call the whole thing off.
Spears and Steinberg.
Thanks for listening to the Spears and Steinberg podcast. If you'd like to know who's responsible for this shit, it was hosted by Aries Spears and Andy Steinberg, produced by Steve Merrick and Anthony Holmes, executive producer, Big Papa, Robert Kelly, and Matt Kleinschmidt for the Laugh Button podcast. For more information on where to find us on the internet, visit SpearsburgPod.com.